the position group that's most concerning or should be most concerning to the 49ers heading into week 1?
Offensive line, with not knowing what's going to happen with Ben Garland. You hear Brunskill snapping the ball over Jimmy Garoppolo's head. They're looking at all of the position groups. There's the least amount of retention among the offensive line. So you're bringing back Laken Tomlinson and Mike McGlinchey. And then depending on if Ben Garland's back, you have a new starter at right guard, one of the best left tackles in the game, Trent Williams, but he's with Shanahan in Washington. But concerns just starting with the ball, having the ball at center, they're in the middle of everything. My biggest concerns with the offensive line, specifically the interior.
Yeah, I would go interior offensive line as well. If I need to go on another position, I'd say maybe nickelback, cornerback if K'Wan Williams isn't 100%. We were talking yesterday who's going to be the backup nickelback without Jamar Taylor, and I'm not sure we know exactly if it's Jimmy Ward or Emmanuel Mosley, but that'll be a little question mark in week 1.
Yeah. At practice yesterday, it seemed like K'Wan Williams was practicing. He was suited up, so I assume he's going to be healthy. I've harped a lot about the Niners secondary, but Sherman's pretty solid. Mosley's been solid every opportunity he's had. K'Wan Williams is the most underpaid player on the team. So I would say the corners, but heading into week 1, I think the O-line is a great choice, but I'm going to go with wide receiver because I don't know about Deebo Samuel. I mean, his foot might technically be healthy, but is he in football shape? And then same with Brandon Ayuk. Should he even really be playing? Is it smart to rush him back for week 1? Hamstring injuries, you could re-aggravate and it could become worse. You could tear it. So who's going to be their starting wide receivers week 1? Kendrick Bourne and Dante Pettis? Are they at the Dante Pettis level? Nothing against Dante Pettis because he really played a lot better in camp this year than last year. But do you trust him in a real game with no preseason? Because the thing about Pettis is you give him 5 targets in a game, he might make 2 good plays, and one of those targets might lead to an interception. Because I think what Jimmy feels about Pettis is that he's unpredictable. His movements, the timing of his routes, he gets open, but it's hard to have like chemistry and timing with him. I think Jimmy feels that Trent Taylor's movements are very predictable and they're always on the same page. I don't know. If they have to start Dante Pettis, that could mean a pick for Jimmy Garoppolo that wouldn't necessarily happen if Debo's playing. So
Great.
I think what?
Why did Taylor miss practice yesterday?
Don't know. And he missed it the day before that. So he's hurt. J.J. Nelson out for the year. Tavon Austin's out for the year. Travis Benjamin opted out. Jalen Hurd's out for the year. I mean, so they need Dante Pettis to step up. What's up?
I say Antonio Brown. We'll wait till week 8 or 9 to cross that bridge again, though.
Let me ask, though. The way it works with Antonio Brown, his suspension doesn't even start until you sign him, right?
I was wrong. So this is something Jose and I were going back and forth on because I was under the impression that once a player's suspension doesn't start until they're signed with the team. So I guess you can, as a free agent, his suspension goes into effect week 1. He's eligible to play week 9. So this discussion becomes a lot more interesting around week 9 if the 49ers receivers need a boost. It's a name to follow. We'll see.
Oh, so you think he's going to get signed week 9 by someone?
Why wouldn't he? Well,
he called Mike Mayock a cracker.
Let me rephrase that. I didn't mean it in that sense. But why a team is more likely to sign him week 9 than right now? I have to agree with Jose on this one, even though he's not around right now in this on our live stream here. But he said it's more likely midway through the season just because that's when his suspension's up, and we'll see. So
the thing about Antonio Brown, I'm trying to think from like other head coaches' perspective. It's like, say what you want about Mike Tomlin and John Gruden. They're champions.
Yep.
They have a lot of respect. And I think a lot of coaches look at like Tomlin and Gruden and be like, gee, if Antonio Brown didn't respect them, is he going to respect me? I don't have a ring.
Yeah.
I don't have that kind of gravitas. Like if he didn't respect Ben freaking Roethlisberger, is he going to respect my guy? Jared Goff? Jimmy Garoppolo? I mean, Jimmy's cool, but Jimmy has 26 starts. He's not Ben Roethlisberger. So I think you got to have – look, the fact that the Bucs haven't signed him already raises eyebrows for me, raises my eyebrows because they have Tom Brady. Brady loves Antonio Brown. They have Bruce Arians who developed Antonio Brown in Pittsburgh. Why don't they want him?
So I'm following along of the comments here, and of course, the one thing people are going to talk about is how he's going to be in the locker room. I think if Antonio Brown steps into the locker room with Richard Sherman, Trent Williams, Nick Bosa, Jimmy Garoppolo, Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, I think that's enough right there just to kind of keep his head straight and keep him focused. In my opinion, and it's the strongest locker room in the NFL. And winning cures all. The culture is positive. And you hear in New England and Pittsburgh, it's kind of like a dictatorship the way things are ran there. And I just think coming into a fun, young locker room like the 49ers could help change the career path of Antonio Brown.
It could.
And of course, and also looking
it
at
seemed to me that Antonio Brown thinks he's the best player of all time. He's not going to look at Richard Sherman and be like, man, I got to be respectful because Richard Sherman's here. It's like, I'm Antonio Brown. I don't have to mute myself. I mean, that's pretty much been his whole stance for 2 years. Like, I shouldn't have to modify my behavior. I'm too good for that, right?
Let's say this goes as south as possible and he's signed week 9, immediately becomes a distraction. If the 49ers can't get back on their path after that, it just goes to show, in my opinion, that the locker room was never as strong as everybody made it out to be. Because you should be able to take that risk and have a guy with character concerns come in and be able to stay focused on your goal of winning the Super Bowl. So that's where I am with that.
All right. Hey, maybe they'll do it. Maybe it'll work out. Maybe it'll be the reason they win the Super Bowl, in which case I'm going to go back and delete this 3 months from now.